And welcome back to the Elite Racing Network, where it is time for the Pocono Mountains 175 live from Pocono. Joining me in the booth tonight is James as well as Dave. As you take a look here, we also got William White in here as race control, and we expect him to be busy at some point tonight. It's pretty sunny out here. A lot of these guys have been talking about a lack of grip on fresh tires, and then it immediately flips the switch to tight. So, James, what do you think we're going to see out here tonight, and will we avoid the big wreck early like we've seen in the Cup race?
Yeah, I don't know if I can be very confident about that. I get the feeling that there'll be much calamity, although a good chunk of the Xfinity races have been pretty clean this season. You know, we did go caution-free at Chicagoland, so it's definitely a possibility that the trend continues, but Pocono tends to be a little wonky, so we'll see.
And as for Dave over here, he doesn't talk too much. We're going to bring him in here at the start. Dave, what do you think we're going to see tonight? And you go ahead and start us off tonight with your pick to win this race.
Pick to win the race. I'm going to go with Matthew Weeks to win the race. I think he loves Pocono, loves running well here. I think it's going to go more green than what we're expecting. I think everybody's in a calm mood.
All right, back to you, James. Who is your pick to win this thing tonight?
I'm gonna avoid the chalk a little bit and go Ethan Burrell.
So you're going Ethan Burrell. I think tonight we are going to see... Man, I really just want to pick a long shot here to come from towards the back, but I just don't know if I trust anybody back there. You know what? I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. I'm going to pick Chad Frankenfield to win at Pocono.
From 20 seconds, not even on our screen. Hold on, let me show you where he is. There he is.
Chad's a big fan of this place, right? He's in Pennsylvania himself. That's why Pocono always finds its way to the schedule. And I don't know. It's a risk, but we want to take a chance and see what happens. As you see that starting lineup, Blake Reynolds, of course, is the pole sitter. Jonathan Cutlip, Ethan Burrell, Crump's up at the front, Weeks is at the front. Then we get Jesse, we got Thomas Coonan, Jay's up there, Brandon Wilkinson. I talked to him before the race. He was not talking about having a shot to run very good, but starting ninth, I think he's going to be all right. Justin Wadsworth, Tyler Fode's outside the top 10, right there with David Tooker. Jeff Green was really good in practice. He was looking forward to this racetrack tonight, and he's going to start back there in 16th. Gerald Campbell's back there. We talked about Chad Frankenfield being 22nd. The Adams brothers are going to be side by side with each other back there in 24th and 25th, so I'm sure that's not how they wanted to start the race tonight. Jared Rexing, we saw him last season be very competitive, win some races, have a shot at the title. Going to start all the way back there outside the top 30 with Jaden back there. Trey Eidson is back there. So there's a lot of guys, and there was an issue in qualifying. We had one of those Chad moments. These guys only got one lap instead of two. So it totally threw out anything people learned in practice about trying to throw away the first lap with the tires heated up, they just got to send it there for the qualifying lap, and I think that hurts some guys, but I don't think anybody is surprised with our top 5 or 6 cars there. More so surprised that Tyler Fode took her. Even Chad's been a good qualifier. Like some of these guys that didn't qualify good, they will probably blame it on that issue of not getting a second lap.
So you got to give a shout at Jesse Racimas there in P6. It's a fantastic qualifying effort for Jesse.
Yeah, and we've seen Jesse running at the front a lot more. You know, he's been running up here. He's kind of snuck his way into this back half and trying to take that next step to compete for wins as the green flag does come out. Great start there for Blake. Great start for John. Pretty even start up there on the front row as you see these guys dicing it up. 3 wide back in the middle. Tyler Fode's going to shoot the middle 3.
So it begins.
We head for turn 1, middle 3. Not exactly where I'd want to be. I don't know if I'd want to be anywhere in that 3 wide. They work off of turn number 2, still 3 wide. Now you're going to see the draft play a factor.
Well,
Chad
we survived
Frankenfield.
turn 1.
Chad Frankenfield's on the outside of 3 wide going into the tunnel turn.
Oh.
That's quite the risk there. They're trying to get it back down to 2 wide. We got away with it so far. A couple big moves. You see a Leighton taking a dive under Chad. You see Fode still trying to move forward. Blake and Cutlip have kind of separated themselves at the front. That battle's for 3rd, and then all the way 3rd on back. Everybody, it seems like, is... Well, they get single filed out, and now the first side-by-side battle is back there with Jay in the 9 car.
Oh, Wilkinson jumps down and kind of shuts the door on Connor.
And you're seeing it here. Once these guys kind of got through that first lap, if you're going down the straightaway, and James, I know you race enough to speak to this as well, if you're not in that outside lane up by that wall where everybody else is running, you're going backwards. It's like being out of the draft at Daytona or Talladega.
Oh yeah, that's what makes racing here so difficult, is that the middle line is dominant when it comes to passing. And because of the draft, you know, it makes you have to think twice about your moves. If you're going to pop out line and make a pass, you have to make sure that some way, shape, or form you pull that pass off, because if you don't, you are going backwards. You are going to lose a ton of track position. And at that point, you need a miracle just to get back in line. Otherwise, it's going to be painful. And I think that really kind of affects the racing we get here and why races tend to be single file for the most part. I say that as you saw Fode and can't make out the other car behind him. I think it's the 95 of Gavin Hibbs jumping well to the inside around Gavin Higgins. But yeah, you know, I think a lot of the reason why these races tend to be single file is because of that. You know, you may not want to risk trying to make a pass and end up completely killing your race in that regard.
And we see the 20 and 95 getting together once again there, and the 13's going to have to make a move. But it's a lot like what we've seen. I feel like all this kind of started with the next-gen car, and we had that kind of physics rework. And you kind of had to pick up a mentality of you got to have a spot to land if you're going to make a move. And when that next-gen Cup car came out at Daytona and Talladega, I mean, you couldn't make a move unless you knew you were going to be able to slide back in line, or else you were going to go way backwards. And it's kind of the same thing has happened here in some of these tracks, like Pocono being one of them, Michigan being another one. Like, if you're going to pull out and make a pass from 5th, you better make sure you can land, or else you're just going to go backwards, and you're going to go from 5th in line to 10th in line, and then you're making another move, and the next thing you know, it's like, I'm 15th, I might as well take every run and just see what happens.
I don't know about that. To me, this is something I've always noticed for a long time. Like, I remember having to be wary about that, even running trucks or IndyCar here back in like 2021, before the next gen was really a thing. I think it's just how the draft and how this track behaves. Is Gavin Hibbs is not happy with somebody.
Chad Frankenfield is who he's not
Oh,
happy with.
yep, yep. That tracks.
I believe Chad made a pretty aggressive move down into turn 1. You can see here he's got the run. He's going to pull out really late. Well, really, he's not got any run. Ooh, I see
Whoa!
the 95. The 95 did that late entry, and he looks like the 95 might have got a little bit loose on entry. And Chad just seen that as an opportunity to take that dive, and it might not have been a dive that he should have took, but that's Chad, and we know he's going to put it down there, put it in there. Here comes Jeff Green right now, pulling out to make a run on the late Norgard. And Jeff was another guy that looked really good in practice, didn't qualify. Very good.
Also, I just look at the right rear of Chad. He's got damage on that right rear corner.
I believe the 95 gave it back to him down into 3.
I think you're correct, and we see the aftermath of that, and that might be really killer for Chad. That's the right rear area of the car is the last area you want damaged. A lot of the downforce and side force of this car is generated from of any stock car really is generated from that right rear corner. As you see, oh, he sure did.
He hits him, drives him across the apron.
Yeah, bump and run at Pocono. Haven't seen that since I think Logano on Mark Martin all the way back in 2020 or 2012 rather.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bump and run, but like down there, I'm thinking Jeremy Mayfield and Dale Earnhardt. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Way back in the day there. Kind of dating myself for how long I've been a fan, but...
Yeah, I think I was only like 5 at that time. Which is why I remember the Logano incident.
Nonetheless, Chad got moved back, got some damage because of it, and we'll have to see what happens as this race plays out. One of the topics that we heard about here, and we haven't discussed too much, is these guys are not very thrilled about just having 3 sets of tires late in the pits for a 70-lap race. That's only 1 extra set, really, because they're not going to... They might be able to get to the halfway mark, but that's pushing it on a fuel run. You're going to see some short pitters. You're going to see some guys decide to two-stop it. It's kind of going to play out like a road course when it comes to strategy because of the tire wear that they will have out here today. So these guys not very happy with the minimal sets of tires that they have.
Yeah, because didn't you say that they could get around 33 laps on the tank from what you were told?
Yeah, right there in that ballpark somewhere. You know, I heard some guys saying it could be about 30. I heard some guys give me like 36 as the max. So right in there somewhere. You know, 33 kind of cuts the middle, and you're going to want tires before that. So it's close. It's close on one stopping it. We're talking about a 70-lap race, so you need to get to the far side of that window. Yeah, you need to get to 35.
I don't know. I feel like, especially for those toward the midfield and back, I feel like you definitely could save 2 laps to fuel here a lot easier than you think. You know, the draft gives you a great opportunity for a whole lot of lift and coast with these big straightaways, these big, long straightaways. So I think it could be done.
But then if you're the guy in the back that does it and the other guys decide to two-stop, get tires twice, they're going to be running lap times faster than you. It's a lot of guys were hoping to get a caution around lap 5, 7, be able to pit from the back, get fuel only, and force the guys in front to stay out and just save the fuel. But here we are working lap 10 at this point, and the field is getting strung out. They're doing better than I thought. I really thought we'd see a pile up early here based on what I was hearing about the way the car was driving.
Yeah, they, as I said earlier, I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be that chaotic just because Connor Thompson getting up into the outside wall towards the back. But yeah, I was cautiously optimistic just because we did go caution-free at Chicagoland, which is another track that's not necessarily easy to go caution-free at.
Yeah, I mean, and Chicago's a great track. Excited to have that back on the schedule next year for NASCAR. So it's a great mile and a half, great tire wear, great character. Hopefully, some multi-groove racing, and we'll have to see if this track will widen out just a little bit for these guys to get up off the bottom and to make a pass. I have heard some drivers say they're at the point in the run now where dirty air is kind of taking over, and unless the guy in front of you makes a bad decision or a mistake, you're not gonna be able to make a pass. And as we talk about that, Dustin Dewar just slid way up, almost hit the wall, but
Harrison Talon definitely got it as well.
And this is where it takes those big, crazy moves like we saw from Chad early in the race. That's the only... You kind of got to get beside somebody. Oh, Dustin
Dewar's like that! Oh!
Seth being aggressive there, trying to make some track position. Very lucky to have gotten away with that.
Yeah, and you got the 89 of Brent Jones trying to follow him through.
So now we're at that point where these guys have got to start, like you talked about, hey, what are we looking like in the fuel to get to halfway? Because if that's what this comes down to, and some guys say, you know what, I'm not going to save this first run, I'm going to pit on that 33, 34, try to save more after the stop, that's when we're going to start seeing that discrepancy in speed where there's going to be guys that get to halfway or far enough here on this first run to feel good about it the second run. We'll have to see what everybody's decision is at that point if we are still green, as the tires are starting to wear. These guys are starting to have some handling issues. Everybody's kind of went to the tight side from what I'm hearing. That free feeling, that loose feeling has went away, and these things have turned into dump trunks out here from what I am hearing.
Yeah, that's what I've understood as well. The unfortunate thing about how the Xfinity car drives is that more often than not, it feels like that's just how the car handles over the course of a long run, as we see Connor and Borges side by side, and Connor not able to complete the pass, and here comes the freight train we were talking about. Fody goes by, Connor just barely able to slip in between the 40 and the 20 of Gavin Higgins.
And these guys are getting kind of jammed up here. Some of these guys are starting to handle pretty bad, and they're going to start backing up as this car gets tighter. Some of these guys have done a better job taking care of their right front tire. Kind of surprised at the lack of movement from Tyler Fody. Still running back here outside the top 10. And we saw him move forward on that initial start, and now he's kind of backed up a couple spots.
Yeah, but you wonder, could he be taking the opportunity to fuel save here?
I don't know. I think if you were going to fuel save, you would want to fuel save without giving up the spot, because I feel like the way it is to pass out here, I feel like you could do it without giving up spots.
Whoa, Higgins, big sideways entering the tunnel turn.
Well, I think that was a big move, too. I think he was trying to get down in there and get underneath that 9 car. And
yeah,
here comes Chad, 3 wide again. And Hibbs backs out, or Tyler Pop just threw it down in there, one or the other. And we've already seen Hibbs and Chad going at it once this race.
Ding, 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 round 2. Fight! You see Jay Connor holding off Higgins in the battle of the unsponsored black cars.
And Tyler takes that run. Can't do it. That's just what we're seeing. You try to make a pass, and you just got to get down in there and get clear. Got to find a place to land on that other side, or else you're just stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Chad with a big move, trying to get down in there deep into the tunnel turn. What Chad's got to be aware of right here is not
Yeah.
giving up spots on the backside of this, because here comes a Leighton, Jeff. You got Josh Adams coming up in there behind him. Jared Rexing has taken this opportunity to pit. The first of our guys to blink, who is a 2-stopper, going to go ahead and hit pit road, come back out. Well, maybe not.
Oh! Big contact with Green, and I couldn't quite tell the car behind, but oh my goodness.
I believe it was Josh Adams, and now they're 3 wide. And that is a lie on the Jared Rexing pit. He posted pitting out, but maybe he was accidentally posting pitting out.
Oh, wow! How was that not a bigger incident? What a job by Jeff Green to hold on to that thing.
Oh, and Jeff's sideways out of the tunnel turn. Oh, and we got... We got more contact back there, too.
Yeah, this battle is not going away.
And coming off the tunnel, they had a huge moment there where Jeff tries to come back up the track, gets into Josh. Oh, and then Jacob Adams gets turned head-on into the wall. So this deal has created quite a bit of damage to both Adams brothers and Jeff Green. And Jake is furious with his brother and Jeff Green at this point. All those cars are destroyed now. All these guys are going to need cautions to fix their damage, because I'm looking here at Josh. It's destroyed. Jeff, tons of damage. And Jacob Adams got turned head-on into the wall over there off the tunnel turn. That played out over the course of a whole lap. Jake might be making a trip over to see his brother tonight. If he ends up being teamed at fault. And I believe Jake was one of the guys who had just said that his car was coming in. He was feeling good about it. And so there you see, they're going to come off the tunnel. Jeff gets loose. They all have a run on Gerald Campbell. So Josh is going to work the middle. Jake's going to follow, but Jeff is going to try to blink back after getting sideways. Little contact, so Josh has to lift. Jake then runs into the back of Josh.
Whoa, and Trey Eitzen.
And not only is that 2 brothers, that's a teammate. I believe Trey's a teammate of theirs as well. So
he is.
Not a great 30 seconds of the event there for that team and those brothers and Jeff Green as well.
It's an expensive 30 seconds for Seth Rawls.
And he's back there somewhere. We saw him making moves. He's 25th, so all that happened. He saw all that happening. He was probably seeing the money fall out of his pocket.
Yeah, he's watching
as they came off the tunnel.
Yeah, he's watching it like, I'm never going to financially recover from this. Gives a little bit of a slide job on Tyler Pop. Pop looking to the inside, trying to get the crossover, but Hibbs will complete the pass. And now Pop has to deal with Chad.
And we know Chad's been aggressive. I imagine Chad will make this late move into 1. We've seen him do it time and time again. A late move down here into turn 1, no move. They come off of turn 1. Chad once again trying to figure out how he's going to make this pass on Tyler Pop. They head for the tunnel turn. No big move here. Ooh, Tyler might have clipped that apron a little bit. That's going to hurt him just a hair, but Chad doesn't have the momentum to make it happen right here.
Meanwhile,
we're off of turn 3. And Tooker trying to make a pass. Let's see if Tooker can make a pass. I think Jesse's giving it to him. I think that's Jesse rolling out right there.
Yeah, meanwhile, we are 5 laps away to the end of the stage. Whoa!
Cody, big slide maneuver there.
Slide job on Wilkinson, and he will complete it.
And there you see Chad. Chad tried to make a pass on the 13. And he's backing up after trying it.
Yeah, now trying to work his way back ahead of Jay Connor, and he almost did.
I think you're going to see an overdrive here and a slide up from Chad is what we're going to see.
There it
there
is.
You go. He gets down into the corner. Now Chad's hurting on the exit, but the 9 doesn't have near the run to pull back beside him.
Nope.
See the 42 backing up here.
Yeah, he is hemorrhaging positions at this point. Chad's doing a great job of keeping pace in that car, even with that damage. I cannot imagine that car is fun to drive right now.
It kind of looks like it's suffering from the same thing as everybody else. A ton of traffic, and it's hard to pass.
Yeah.
But the 42 looks like he has chewed his tires up. He cannot... That 42 looks like the right front is pretty well destroyed on that car.
Yeah,
he gets down to the middle of the corner, and it just quits turning.
Well, yeah, because look at the right front. He's got damage on that right front corner.
Oh, big block by Chad.
Oh, boy. Oh,
now
dear.
Are we 3 wide?
We were nearly Chad wide. We're just trying to stay there. Chad trying to hold off Connor. Link Norgard trying to see where he can go behind these two. Paul telling race control to keep an eye out on this group.
I think he was mentioning Chad specifically.
Meanwhile, Jared Rexing, he didn't pit, but he's in the pits now because he dropped his packets.
Not good.
Nope.
Not ideal for Jared. But some days the internet just won't work with you, and he wasn't running good. So if there's a day for it not to work with you, I think he's all right with it being today because he was not running very good.
Yeah, absolutely. They have 2 laps to go here in stage 1.
And no real big battle going on for the stage win. Reynolds is out over Cutlip, who's out over Crump, who's quietly having a pretty good run tonight. You know, Crump has had his share of bad luck, and I'm sure if you asked him, Scott would tell you I've had my share and somebody else's share too, because it's been a rough stretch. But as you see Chad, he's going to take that big dive, doesn't get clear.
He's got opportunity for the slide job here.
And he's going to do it.
Oh, but he doesn't jump up. Oh, but Tyler can't get a run back, and Chad will finally take the position.
I almost think with Chad's damage, it might be laying that on the right rear a little bit more and laying it off the right front, because as these guys have quit turning, he's still got pretty good turn in his car. He still gets through the middle of the corner better than anybody that he's around back here.
Yeah, I figured it might have made it a little tighter, but that is a good point. Ryan Borges made some hard contact off of turn 1.
Yeah, I didn't know if that would make Chad's car tighter or looser. I was kind of wondering, like you were, would that make it tighter? But I do know that rear damage makes these cars pretty free. Oh, he's trying to get... Oh!
Contact! Oh, no! Wadsworth and Frankenfield! Oh, and it's
big
the big
wreck.
one!
Big wreck here. The 9's over here backwards. Gerald Campbell is destroyed climbing back to pit road. I think Jeff Green might have been involved as well. And just before we see that replay here, I think Chad was on his outside and Justin just moves back up.
Yeah, that's the thing is, people are going to make jokes here, but I'm with you. I don't know if I can necessarily put that on Chad. Like,
Oh,
it's
100% not. Yeah, like you're getting to the outside, you give up that outside, and this is what happens. You got to take it when you can get it. Justin saw that he was coming, tried to squeeze up, but Chad was already there. They make contact. The 6 goes around. Now the 15 is going to spin, and now here's where other guys get involved. This is where the 9 comes in. Here comes Gerald
Connor.
Campbell. Norgard's threading the needle there.
Yeah, he split the gap and he survived it. And oh no, look at Jay Connor. Hard contact into the inside wall.
I think Jeff Green got a piece of this somewhere as well. Maybe.
Yeah, you see him right there. But well,
maybe not. Jeff missed it. Jeff was back there and he missed it. His damage is just from the earlier incident.
Yeah, good wreck avoidance by the 2. And you saw Mikolajczyk avoided as well. Well, there goes the conversation about fuel mileage. Now nobody has to worry about it, and that also completes the stage as well.
Yeah, now everybody knows it's going to be they're going to have to make another stop. Nobody's making this on one stop unless they stay out here, and I don't think anybody's going to stay out here because we are about within anywhere from 5 to 8 laps of making that pit stop. So you're going to pit here, you're going to get the fuel, you're going to get tires, and this is far enough outside. Nobody's saving to the end from here. It's just too far to go to save to the end. But what we are going to do is we are going to get into commercial break. Since they have went green this far, there's a chance we might go green to the end. So stick with us, and we will see you on the other side of this break.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pick group. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down.
And welcome back here to Pocono. As you see, Justin Wadsworth pulling off pit road, picked up all that damage and the tally. Based on what I heard there, William White gave him the tally as these guys are working their way back to the restart. And it will be a one pit stop race, James, like you mentioned. This fuel strategy is out the window. They know the pit window will open in about 10 laps, really, to make it pretty safe. But in 7 laps, if you wanted to pit in 7 laps, you could probably make that work too. So we will see one pit stop. The question is, do you run it pretty far, split it in half, take 4? Do you take 2, maybe in about 7 or 8 laps, come down, get 2 tires and a can of fuel? What would you do, James, as we get the restart?
Oh, as we see a massive jump from Reynolds on this, to me, I always tend to look at the overcut. So I would probably, depending on how my car is handling, run it all the way dry and try to get that little bit of a tire offset to give me an advantage for the final stint of the race.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it depends on if you think there's going to be a caution. I think if you think there's going to be a caution, you'll just run it and try to pit right before you think the caution's going to come. I think I like, if I'm somewhere and I don't have a shot to win this race, as we see all this chaos out here right now, these guys on these restarts, I would like, if I'm David Tooker or Tyler Fody, some of these guys.
Oh, Scott Crump! Oh no! Crump hard into the wall!
Oh,
this is going to be a big one! Oh my goodness! Oh no! Oh!
We've got cars everywhere.
I just hope Leighton's okay. Wow, that was violent. Contact between the 90 and the 5. We saw it start in the tunnel turn, and then it got worse here. See, Crump kind of comes down onto the 5, puts him sideways, shoots Crump all the way to the wall. Hard impact, just bounces down into the field. Absolutely nowhere for a Leighton Orgard to go. Bam! Oh, wow.
And you see Ryan come in there, but look at a Leighton up in the catch fence. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And we talked about Scott having a good run, Scott having a good run, and he's had enough bad luck for himself and some other guys out here, and that stretch is going to continue.
Oh my God. What a view. Wow. Tommy Ryan, massive damage to this as well. He plowed into the back of Norgard. He also had nowhere to go. Wow. Tommy couldn't see a thing. He had no idea what was going on. Talk about wrong place at the wrong time. Goodness gracious.
That was huge. And somehow, how did Dustin do it right there?
Yeah, where did Dusty go? Because he's right there, and then he's like, I'm a head out.
Dusty got himself a little lag switch over there?
He's like, deuces.
He's out here now. I got to see, does he have damage on that 32? That 32 is clean. All right.
Wow.
We gotta call some hacks there. All right, Dusty, what you got going on down there?
The X-Files sing, do 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 do.
Dusty seen the wreck and he said, "Oh, I gotta make myself disappear."
And
abracadabra. He even hits the 66. And then he's back, and she's clean as a whistle.
Wow.
That was very unfortunate.
That was one of the wildest wrecks I've seen.
And unfortunately, I think Scott's probably going to pick up the tally for the wreck.
He did.
Oh, he did. So there it is. William already gave it out. So Scott came down there on John and then kept coming. And man, that's just what a tough go of it for Scott.
Yeah.
At least he knows that he's still got the speed, he's still got the pace. Just got to shake it off, move on to the next one.
He needs an exorcism at this point.
Yeah, it's rough, and she won't roll.
And this might come as a surprise, but a late Norgard has retired from the event.
At this point, hopefully he's still able to talk to us. But
yeah, now we just got to reset after that one.
and we do have some guys that just pulled off a pit road. I think it's Jacob Adams. The 42's coming off a pit road. Jaden. I mean, we got some guys here who've pitted coming to the green. Well, coming to one to go. Getting one to go. They're on pit road here. And I still think we're just a little bit too far to save, but I do think one more caution right here on top of this one, and we're talking about pitting at one to go and possibly being able to stretch it. And we do have a Leighton now. I don't know if y'all heard. Dave's pointed out that he was down there. Leighton, good to be talking to you. Hate that it's this early, but we are coming to the restart. Give us a rundown of what you've seen out there and what you think about the racing so far tonight.
Yeah, not really how I expected to be here, but yeah, with that wreck, Scott just came across the nose of the cut lip and lost it. And then by the time I could see him, there was absolutely nothing I could do to avoid it. But that's kind of a consequence of how the pack racing is here with all the draft right now. This car's so close together for so long, and it's just kind of almost inevitable that something's going to happen like that. But it was pretty hard to pass. Not sure. I think the best chance I was going to have for passing was if that first run kept going a bit longer. But 10 laps left, we got that caution and got that reset on tires and just packed everyone right back together.
Yeah, do you anticipate the racing being super aggressive here as we take off? You know, these guys knowing that they can't make it on fuel just yet?
It seems pretty likely. There's some guys that are getting impatient out there for sure, and some tempers have definitely been flaring already. So I would be shocked if we got another long green flag run, but
wrecking off a 4.
Got another big one.
The 95, the 70. Everybody's going to split them. Well, this puts us right on the edge, right on the outside edge of this fuel. Leighton, real quick here, we'll give you a chance to shout out your sponsors and get home safe. And we're glad to be talking to you after that scary wreck there in the catch fence.
Yeah, good thing for the catch run. Some spectators will be dead. Just my teammates at Abbott, Dale Pocock, Jaden Racimas, Thomas Coonan, good guys there tonight. And then Corey Abbott, Andrew Hardcastle, the rest of the guys that aren't running the series, but yeah.
Well, that was a Leighton Norgard. James, talk to us about what we are seeing here on our screen.
Yeah, you saw that Jesse Racimas and Tyler Pop got into the outside wall off turn 3, and Jesse kind of bounced down off the wall down into Hibbs, and Tyler Pop then got into him, and it just sent both cars kind of careening around. Unfortunate for Jesse Racimas, a incredible qualifying effort for the 70, and just it's gonna go nowhere now, unfortunately. And here everybody comes. You called it, Chris.
Yeah, here comes everybody.
Oh! Except for Jonathan Cull and quite a few cars staying out. Interesting. Very interesting.
Well, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to get in one more break and be done with breaks for the night unless these guys bring us a rash of caution. So stick with us, and on the other side of the break, we will hopefully take it to the finish.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Pocono, where as we come around to get one to go, we will see who tops off, who doesn't. We are now joined by Scott Crump, the other half of the big accident that we had here just a couple cautions ago. Scott, you were running great tonight. We talked about how we were thinking your luck was turning around. And then, unfortunately, you ended like a lot of these races have ended for you here of recent memory. So talk to us about your night and what you got to do to shake this bad luck that you're in.
Usually I could say it's other people, but tonight it was me. I was just trying to set up a run on 3 and 4, and car's a little loose the first couple laps, and stayed off throttle just a little too long there. And when I throttled back up, it jerked it back down on me. And yeah, you try and turn it right, but it was just too late. And then I probably would have been better off just letting them hook me around there. But I tried not to take too many more people out with me. But yeah. Had a great run going, best run I've had for a while. Definitely helps to start up front. That makes a big difference than mid-pack. You can kind of set your own pace up front. You get in the middle. Yeah, everybody's trying to push hard in middle pack, and you end up falling back. And by the time you start working your way back forward, either a caution comes out or it's time to pit. So, yeah. So, all in all, had a great night going. Just screwed it up there.
Well, like I mentioned after it happened, at least you know you still got the speed. You can still make these things go fast. You can still run at the front. It's just got to put it all together and be there at the end. So real quick before we let you jump out of here, who helps get you to the racetrack week in, week out?
Stay Tuned Sports Podcast, Blue Egg Marketing, Lake Mormon Motorsports, JD Designs, paints all of our schemes. So, yeah, hopefully Cutler can go out there and win one here.
Well, we just had a big strategy split. Thanks for talking to us, Scott, and hopefully next week you can talk to us maybe from Victory Lane instead of here outside the Care Center.
Hopefully good track coming up, Bristol. Love that track. Finished second a few times there, and probably could have had a few wins there if it weren't for some bad luck and stuff. But yeah, hopefully we can turn it around and get it going.
Well, that was Scott there, Scott Crump, leaving us now. We are getting the restart. Cutlet, like you mentioned, stayed out. The first car that pitted, I believe, is going to be 18th, and it is going to be Blake Reynolds. I like the strategy of getting the fuel to the end. I think they can make it to the end from here. Everybody in front of Blake will likely have to pit as you see them string out 3 wide, maybe 4 wide, possibly looking at 5 wide.
Oh, boy. Well, so far, so good.
Dangerous time, though. Dangerous time when you put yourself back there in traffic.
Absolutely.
Blake's still on the outside of 3 wide down there into the tunnel turn.
Oh, we're going to be almost 3 wide on exit. Gerald Campbell looks like he's got his damage fixed.
And Weeks looks like he snuck through and around Blake here in this traffic. That's one thing Blake hasn't been in is any kind of traffic.
Oh, issues with the 69 and the 1, but nothing too crazy, not too big like what we've seen the last couple times we've gone through turn 3 on the first lap of a restart.
Weeks looking to get around Gerald, and here comes Blake with a run off of 2. And all this going on back outside about 15.
69 making
Oh,
more
Blake's
contact.
got a problem.
Oh my goodness!
Blake's got an equipment malfunction here for Blake.
Oh, wow!
The dominant car of the night just had some kind of equipment malfunction going down the Lone Pond straightaway, and he is not going to win this race. And this is not what everybody who stayed out wanted to see. They did not want to see a caution. This just buried him. Here's Blake. The equipment malfunction goes straight into the wall.
Wow, that is heartbreaking for Blake Reynolds, dominating the race up until this point. And significant mechanical issue, absolutely killing the 86.
Well, I believe I heard that he froze. The equivalent of a tire failure or a blown motor in real life is that freeze, or you get the black screen. Like, there are things that can happen, you know. But now what? You know, now what do you do if you stayed out there, you were banking on running green and trying to force everybody to pit, right? You were banking on those guys being a few laps short at the end. This caution gives them the ability to get to the end. They're going to make it to the end. Everybody who pitted under that last caution, you know, we're talking about that group that's led by Matthew Weeks, Ethan Burrell. Those guys all pitted there. They are going to be able to stay out and jump all these guys. I think the only way these guys can stay out and win the race is if they just say, we're going to hope for 3 or 4 more cautions to let us save the fuel. We need that many caution laps. They need about 10 caution laps or so. And so that's 3 or 4 more cautions these guys are going to need. Or do they just bite the bullet, come in now, know they can make it? Like, this really is not what they wanted to see as decision time comes off of turn 4.
A couple guys are making the decision. Higgins, Wilkinson, Mikolajczyk looked like he was going to, but he fakes, stays out. Yeah, honestly, if it was me, I'd just consider staying out, throwing up the Hail Mary and seeing if it works. You know, maybe this race is starting to turn. We've got a lot of cautions as of late, so maybe it turns into a bit of a caution fest and you get the ability to save as much as you need. Obviously, a lot is gonna need to happen for it to work out, but I'd say, heck it, what do you have to lose at this point?
Yeah, we saw some guys do that. Like, we got Tooker and Cutlip and Fody and the 77s up there, the 92, the 25. These guys have decided that we are going to get those 3 more cautions, 4 more cautions that we need, and that's going to be enough for us. But if you don't get them, they will have to pit under green, and that will be... I mean, this is putting it on the table. This is like going all in and hoping. So we'll see what happens. See if it works out for him. I like where Weeks is sitting. I like where Burrell's sitting. You know, they pitted, they got the fuel. They're pretty confident they can go to the end. You know, so... But Pocono always brings out this kind of strategy and all these things that can happen, and we've got it right here as we come to 1 to go. Last chance to throw yourself off of that strategy, and you see these guys running in 3 or 4 different lanes coming through turn 3. These guys are all clutching the car, turning the car off. Any kind of fuel save that you think you can do or you know how to do, that's what you're doing right now as we come to 1 to go.
Yeah, you make a good point. We see a lot of races at Pocono tend to play out with a lot of strategy. So just because of the size of it, and the opportunities you have to try to save fuel at times, you know, it kind of beckons you to try to make a strategy work. And we've seen fuel mileage races pay off in the past for a lot of different guys. So we'll see as these final 30 laps finish up.
So here's what I'm hearing from pit road. Everybody in front of Weeks is 2 to 5 laps short. So if you're on the 2 or 3 side of that, you're feeling good about 1, 2 more cautions. If you're up there on the 4, 5, side of that, you're needing 3 cautions to save that kind of fuel. So 2 or 3 cautions, I think 2 cautions, these guys start feeling like, hey, we might be able to get to the end. If we get 4 more cautions between now and the end, I think everybody will make it. But Weeks, does he have a tire advantage? I'm not sure if he just got fuel or if he got some tires on that car. If he's got a tire advantage, I still feel good about Weeks. But I don't think these guys are going to be saving under green because there's really no reason to. You're not going to make it if it runs green. As that pace car pulls off, green is out. Great start there for Cutlet. Weeks with the big run is going to go to the inside of 3 wide with a push. How far up through there can he get with this big dive? He's going to gain 1 row. These guys come off of turn number 1, 2, and 3 wide. Reckon in the back.
Oh, man!
It's Harry.
Oh, no. Not Harry.
I believe Josh Adams also got a piece of this. I believe Josh Adams might have been in the car that turned Harry. They come off of turn 2.
Yeah.
A little bit of contact.
He gets into him, but
Harry was not coming out of the corner, washing up like I think he thought he would.
Exactly. That's the I don't know what more the 22 can do there because Harry's got about car width and a half, maybe even 2 car widths from him to Cale Pocock. So if you're Adams, you're not really anticipating Harry to hold it down that low on the corner, and you have to start getting out of the corner yourself at some point. So I would put it more on honestly, if I was William, I'd just say that's a racing deal.
Haven't we talked about that a lot lately, though, where the car on the outside isn't obligated to go higher?
Yeah, but you also have to keep in mind that, the car on the inside is always going to anticipate that the car on the outside is going to track out up to the wall. And it's
which is
not
exactly the argument that they make, that you're anticipating that, but it doesn't have to happen. So it'd be a false anticipation. That's the argument.
My theory on that is that it takes 2 to dance, and if you're going to be out here running this race side by side, you kind of got to realize this isn't a track where you're going to hold the guy to the white line or the yellow line all the way around. You got to give him some room to come off the corner, and you got to come like Harry's hurting himself too. Even if Josh isn't there, Harry's hurting himself by not using up more of the racetrack to try to make those passes. And Harry's ran at the back a lot tonight, so I don't know that he was necessarily trying to move forward as much as just survive. But if that's your objective, is just to survive, I don't know. Don't put yourself in a spot to restart in front of a bunch of guys and be put in the middle of 3 wide and kind of be surprised by it. Like it's one of those things where I can see people being upset with Josh over that. Like I could see if Harry was upset, but I can also see why it happened and how it happened, because Josh is thinking, we got to come off the corner. I'm not going to run the yellow line down the long pond. Like he's got plenty of room to his right, like you mentioned, a car length and a half to move up and give Josh a little bit of room to be able to come off the corner.
Exactly. My thought process exactly. You know, you can, pinch the car on the inside as the car on the outside, but the car on the inside has to go somewhere. So you can pinch, but you're kind of writing yourself a check that you might not want to cash. So it and now I really don't think that Harrison was doing that on purpose. I think that was just a bit of a, you know, losing a bit track of where you're at during the chaos of restart. But in other situations that come up in similar, I think that they're kind of running the risk of that happening as we saw. But
And what I said was, it takes two to dance. Well, that car on the outside, if he gives you the room to come off the corner, you're probably going to give him the room to enter the corner because you don't have to turn into the corner. You can go down in there and run the second lane and just run that guy out of room. So, like, it's running side by side, even when it's two guys racing for the win, most of the time they're going to give and take with each other because they know that the other guy at some point is going to be on the side of the coin where they can pretty well end your night. And so you give them room coming off the corner, they give you room going into the corner, and it gives you the ability to race side by side without contact. When you start taking room away, that's when you'll get that. Okay, you're not going to let me come off the corner. Well, going down into the next corner, guess where you're going to run? I'm going to go down in here and I'm going to run the third lane. Hopefully the track's not dirty out there for you so you can make it off the corner.
precisely. But yeah, in the meantime, there's another one of the cautions that the guys that stayed out on the racetrack need.
Yeah, I mean, and we had Matthew Weeks on I felt like the right side of that strategy. What just happened to Weeks here? Did he pit? Oh, sorry, we were in such a debate there. We were in such a talk about what happened.
Weeks pitted,
Not even watching.
and Burrell pitted.
Not even watching Dave's camera work. And Dave does such a great job getting us the shots we need.
26th
we didn't
through
even get to ask him
31st
earlier.
pitted on lap 43.
So I'm not sure I agree with that. Like, I don't know what your thought is, James, but they had the fuel that the others didn't and chose to pit.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's quite the decision. That's a very Alan Gustafson decision right there, is what that is.
Yeah, we'll see how it works.
They come down to get the green. Cutlip's out front. Green is out. Pretty good launch for Cutlip. Where's the first car we see pull out to go 3 wide? It looks like... Oh, we might be 4 wide. We might be looking at 5 wide.
Oh,
Jeff Green really blocked in down there.
Lord.
Walking all the way to the pit lane.
Yeah, that was a pretty big block there. They come off of turn number 1. Some guys are still 3 wide. We see the 30 going to the outside of 3 wide. Heading for the tunnel turn. He backs out, which forces him 3 wide behind.
Oh, contact between Jane Racimus and Pop.
And the snap is one. And here's Chad looking 3 wide down into the tunnel turn.
Oh, no. Oh, Oh.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, there it is.
Brent Jones is down there. Chad Frankenfield is down there. Well, and it sounds like right there, based on what Chad's saying, he thought he was 2 wide and he was 3 wide. So we let Chad off the hook with the other one. We broke down why it wasn't his fault. But I think the camera tells all. And Chad, he took blame for the incident. He said, "Yeah, I thought it was too wide off of 3 there, and they were still 3 wide."
Yep. Yeah, I think he's gonna accept his tally this time. Wow, 69 came real close to hitting him after the fact. Good avoidance there.
Well, and we talked about these guys going all in. This is the caution they needed. They're going to get to the end now on fuel more than likely. Based on what I'm hearing, a lot of these guys are saying they were close enough to try for it within a lap or so after the last this caution is probably going to buy them all the insurance they need, and that's Cutlip, Tooker, Fody, Eitzen, Rawls, Dewar, Campbell. Like, all these guys are going to get to the end.
Yeah. This race is really kind of flipped up on its head. We were very clean and very green, but ever since we got to the second half of it with that first caution, everything has gone all funhouse mirror.
Yeah, and you know what we could do? We've gotten our commercial breaks in. So what I'm going to do is we're going to bring up one of these guys that is working on saving the fuel. And we're going to talk to him. We're going to see about what he's saying about the fuel here. We are now joined here with our third place runner, Tyler Fody. Fody, take us through the strategies, how it sets up from here, and are you going to be able to go from here without another yellow?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I cannot believe everyone up front here 4 cautions ago decided to pit. That was crazy. So, yeah, we've just been hanging out, and we're good.
Well, how's the
good
race
now.
played out? We saw, you guys run green almost that whole first run, and now it has turned into a race that I don't think we've went 2 laps in the last 40 minutes.
Yeah, I was actually super disappointed to see that yellow. We had about 34 laps in the tank to start the race, and I was over a lap to the good, about 36. So I was going to one-stop it and had saved the tires and started going there with like 10 to go in the tank and was just flying around, and then we got the yellow. So had that gone green, I think we would have been really good to challenge for a top 5 or so, but cut to right now, it's basically the same. So I'm happy with it all right now.
What's it going to take for you to get up there and win this race?
Hopefully some battling with these front guys and some kind of run. Can't really do much on these restarts. Yeah, just some kind of run here. I think if it comes down to green-white checkered, I think it's going to be really hard to beat whoever's restarting the race. So we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you this. You said you can't do much on these restarts. I just don't think you're trying hard enough. You might be a little bit chicken because we've seen some guys really dive down into turn 1 and make some spots up.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know if you saw the very start of the race, but I about looped it in front of the whole field, so I've dialed it back a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, all right, Tyler. We know you're coming to 1 to go. So real quick here, who helps get it done for you? And who do you? I want to know. Are you willing to move somebody to win this thing later?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not often you get Blake out of the lead here, so everyone has a chance to win now. So got to take it when you can get it.
Well, all right, Tyler. We will let you jump out of here. And I asked if you were willing to move somebody, but any sponsor shout out you want to give here before we let you jump back over here?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's the guy in the lead right now. Cutlip's been spanking us pretty good, but he paints all of our team cars here, so I do got to shout him out. Yeah, that's about it. You guys up there doing your thing.
Well, all right. That is Tyler Fody out there actively saving fuel and says he's good to go. So if he's good to go, I think that means everybody else up there is good to go. We might be in for a great race here when nobody has to save up here at the front.
Absolutely. This is we're gonna have 20 laps to go here when we go back green, and this is probably gonna be 20 laps of a whole lot more chaos.
Well, you see, I was thinking, this race could get real crazy now, but I think we've been there. I think we're there. We are at the crazy. We are at the chaos. I don't know how much crazier and more chaotic it could get.
Oh, don't say that out loud. They might take it as a challenge.
I hope so. I want to see it. I want to see that 25 side by side for the lead getting done on turn 1. That's what I want to see.
I don't want to see the 25 side by side for the lead. I want them to be side by side for the lead 25 rows deep. 25 wide. I'm sure it could be done.
There's some guys out here who would be willing to give it a shot.
But I wouldn't mind see the 25 side by side for the lead either. Sorry, Seth.
I think Chad could take that challenge on and try to be 25 wide by himself out here sometimes. But here we come to the green. Same front row. Green is out. Great launch for the 5 car. 19 took off pretty good too. Fody might have been sleeping a little bit there. Here we go. We got some guys pulling out. It's always fascinating to watch these guys pull out 3 wide and 4 wide and try to make it through turn 1. One guy who's back there too and creeping back up here is the 11 on his 4 new tires. So he's making those tires work. He's on the inside of 3 wide. Here he goes again with another look to the inside of 3 wide. I mean, that, Matthew might be getting ready to show us why he came and got those tires.
Yeah.
Because he gave up a lot of track position to get him, and he's gained a lot of it back.
Yeah, he's doing a great job carving through the field so far.
He's going to have a big run right here. What does he do with it? Does he sweep to the inside and go underneath the 20?
Oh. Comes set to the inside of Doer for P5. Or attempting to at any rate.
You see Tyler pop up here as well. We saw him in that wreck, and he's fixed his damage, and he has managed to put himself up here right around that 10th spot.
Yeah, that was some significant front-end damage he got from that incident, but you can't tell. At 13 still has a lot of speed right now.
And while we're talking about guys who are back from a wreck, look who else is up there running in that 7th spot. Is that 6 car?
Yeah,
he's
that's...
down his way back up there.
And Gerald Campbell, too. Campbell's hood was, flapping about. He had so much damage. And now both of these cars are up here in the top 10 again.
I'll tell you what, I'd never get that lucky in a wreck to be able to drive away from a wreck being destroyed and get the cautions I need and the track position back in less than 20 or 25 laps.
No kidding.
And there you see the 20 with a big dive under the 13. The 13 slides up. The 3 wide here. Weeks trying to make this work. 26 pushes the 20. No lift out of Weeks. He's going to stay in there. There's going to be contact. Weeks thinks he's got a shot, and that's what you got to do if you got a shot. You got to stay there. You can't give it up.
Wow, what a move by Pop to just shut the door on both of them. He just drove it down in there and cut both Wilkinson and Weeks off. Oh, and they're still getting together.
And right behind them, Josh Adams is coming back up here into this picture as well.
Oh, a whole bunch of wounded warriors out there, but some fantastic job from these teams able to get a lot of these cars repaired.
And there's Jacob Adams, his brother, coming around him on the outside.
This is incredible.
Oh, he's going to shut the door on Jake. Slide right up in front of him. Jake says, "You're not going to shut the door on me. I'm taking it." Dives down in there and gets clear in one corner. The 77 coming back up through here. Right behind them comes the 2. We saw the 2 wreck. There's the 37 back there. We've seen Chad in multiple incidents tonight. He's trying to creep his way back up through this pack. But at this point, we've gotten far enough back. This is like 20th, so it's going to be a while for Chad to recover. Chad's going to need more cautions than what we've had.
And some of those cautions to involve multiple cars as well.
I tell you what, this run's went long enough where you got to start thinking, are guys going to come and get tires if there's a caution now? It might not be a fuel strategy play as much as it is, hey, you need the fresh tires, because anybody who's seen Matthew Weeks coming through this field, yeah, he stalled out a little bit here, but he drove halfway through this field in a big hurry. So that tells me if enough guys get tires will be the call here later in this race.
I don't know. If you're anywhere in the top 10, maybe even top 15, I'm not bringing it down. It's showing that track position is pretty significant this race, so I don't think you risk it. Because, like, if you would risk it, you would need to be seeing Matthew Weeks making much bigger progress than he is. He's making good progress, but not enough to where if you come out of pit road like 16th that you would be able to drive your way back up to the lead in what would probably be around 12 laps to go or so if the caution came out like right now. So if you're up at the front, you're absolutely going to stay out.
I hope we get to see it, because I don't think you'll restart 16th. I think if we get a caution at 10 to go, I think you'll be able to pit from 7th and still restart around 10th and try to make it work. I don't think these guys right at the front will pit, but if I'm sitting here right around 7th, right around Wadsworth and Campbell and those guys, even Seth Rawls right there, like I'm thinking I can come get tires, restart around 10th, and see if you can do something, because it's all about, you want to win. Nothing else matters. So I think that's the move to try to win the race, because I don't think if you're somebody like Seth, if you're somebody like Wadsworth, you're not going to win just by bunching up and doing it again on the same tires.
Yeah, that is a good point.
It just depends on how many guys behind you come. What the guys do that are 15th and 20th.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to, is, because like you mentioned, if you restart outside the top 15 and you were running 6th, probably not the call. But if you can pit from 6th and restart 10th, I think that's a good call.
Yeah, and that's the biggest issue when it comes to strategy is, of course, not knowing what the others are going to do around you. Like, if you know that a lot of people around you are going to come in and take tires, then you absolutely come down and take tires. It's a no-brainer at that point. But my reasoning is based on, not being entirely sure if anyone else will come down. And because of that, you might be having to restart well down the field if a bunch of guys stay out. So that's why if you're like a David Tooker, Trey Eidson, I think you would stay out. But if you're a Michael Hossack, Gavin Higgins, I probably think that they bring it down.
Yeah, I think if I can restart in the first 2 rows, that first 4 spot, I would stay out. But if I'm 5th on back, I would pit. And 5th on back right now is the race. Look at these guys lined up behind Dustin Tour and Justin Wadsworth. These guys, there's a gap there, and the heat is on in this little group. But for us, for that strategy that we're talking about, I mean, we're just talking out in La La Land here, because they need to have a caution for us to get that, and that has not been too far-fetched tonight. There's been plenty of cautions.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Chad Frankenfield and Josh Adams getting together over here in the tunnel turn, nearly giving us a caution. And there is words being had over that, whatever happened over there.
There sure is.
And other drivers who stole it pile on in.
Wow.
I don't know what happened over there into the tunnel turn, but these boys are not happy with Chad.
No.
And you see Gerald backing up here. Older tires are finally, like, people who've gotten other tires. There's the 20 not getting off of turn 2 or turn 1 at all. Now they're stacked up underneath the 20. We're seeing all these guys really starting to back up on their old tires. The 6 looking underneath Dusty here.
Yeah, I tell you, if Weeks can make quick work of this group here, I wouldn't count out that 11.
I wouldn't cut out a caution with all these guys that are upset with Chad right now. I don't even know what happened.
Way high. That's going to lose a ton of ground. Might be the break Weeks needed. He might be able to get the pass done. Oh, Coonan dropping down, trying to look to the inside of Wadsworth. That didn't help Weeks. But Weeks does
stacking up behind him too.
Oh, that they are.
Ethan Burrell down here into turn 3, looking 3 wide. These guys got jammed up out of the tunnel.
Oh, we're going to be 3 wide here in turn 3. Oh, I saw some
the
smoke.
The 30, the 15.
Oh, there's a car up into the wall.
It's the 30 of Connor Thompson, and here we go. Here we go. Now what? Now what?
Boy, howdy. Oh, my Lord.
I got 4 tires down there waiting on me. That's what I got. They just got 3 wide. The 30 got stacked up because they made contact, and the 30 was trying to recover. Jeff then gets into him. He gets into Chad. Chad and Josh come back together one more time for good measure here. 30 head on up into the wall. Locks it down. Did a great job there not coming back down the track. But now, like I said, James, what do you do? We saw tires matter right there at the end of this run. Those last 3 or 4 laps, the guys on older tires really started struggling and backing up big time.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know, honestly.
I think if I'm in the first 4, I stay out. I think you got to stay out. Tooker, Cutlip, Eidson, and Fody. Now, Fody might roll the dice and go for a 4 here and go to pit and try to win the race. Maybe he doesn't feel like he can win the race restarting 4th. But I think if I'm 5th on back, I'm pitting.
Lordy, the race chat was getting spicy. I might have to change the quote, go full Denny Hamlin, but instead go, oh, that's just triangle track racing.
Here we go. It's about to come time. What are they going to do? What happens at the front?
Drum roll, please.
They're staying.
Interesting. Looks like top 8 stay out or so.
Well, now.
Yeah.
So we don't have to restart outside the top 15 on tires? I like it.
I mean, I gotta say, Chris, I don't know if it'll work out for the win, because we're gonna have what, 5 laps to go when we go back green. That's gonna be a lot of ground to make up in just 5 laps. And yeah, we've seen tires make a difference. But to make that sort of ground in that amount of time, we need like significant wear and fall off.
And here's
on
the thing: we
tires.
just had 2 guys take 2. Dustin Dewar and Tyler Pop just took 2 tires. Everybody else is on 4. I like 4. I like 4. I like where they're restarting. It's going to be about the aggression of taking off here and being able to get it done. But I really like where Gerald Campbell is. I like where the 24 is. I think Jacob Adams right there. I mean,
Well, one thing's for certain, we are going to be witnessing an absolute grandstand finish here. This is going to be wild.
and there's quite a difference in tire life now. Like, this isn't just a little bit of a difference. This is a big difference. Ooh, Dusty's coming back. He must not like the call for 2 here, so.
Yeah, how... Huh. Maybe he had a loose wheel.
I don't know.
Maybe you changed the wrong 2. I said right.
So 15th, exactly. 15th is going to be...
No, not your left, the other left side tires. And look who's back in the top 10, Chad Frankenfield.
This is going to be so exciting, boys. I'm so excited for what we're about to see. I think it's going to be great. I think Gerald being the one on tires. I don't know if you know, James, but I think Dave does. We know Gerald is not afraid to send this thing and put it all out there and see what happens.
I'm just afraid they might get too aggressive trying to get back up there. I like where
Oh,
Weeks
Gerald-
is sitting. I think Weeks is going to
Gerald
get
too
to the front.
aggressive? No way. No way.
Only one caution, Dave?
I think Weeks
How
is
many
going to get to the
green-white
front,
checkered?
and then it'll be whether or not we have how many cautions they're able to get back to. That's my thought.
My thought is, how many green-white checkered attempts do we have again?
3.
Yep.
Well, here we go, boys. Green is out. Gerald gets the pretty decent jump. And there goes Gerald, and there goes Jake as well. Those are the guys that are on 4 tires. They head down there for turn number 1. Oh, they're going to get together.
Oops.
Oh!
Oops.
Oh my lord, look at this mass of humanity.
Lots of cars went lots of places. Right now, it is Jacob Adams, the first car on 4 tires.
We're like 4 wide exit a total
Nope,
turn,
that
and
didn't work.
there it is. Sean Judson going around into the inside wall. A few more cars plowing into the inside wall. Yep.
Yeah, Sean was one of those guys that stayed out. I don't know about staying out when you're the last car like that. Let's see what happens as we get down to the tunnel turn. No contact. Oh, he just gets way up there and just...
Oh,
Big
kinda just-
netcode.
netcode. The netcode between Judson and the 37 to Ethan Burrell just sends the 69 around. Wow, you know, we might actually survive that if it wasn't for the netcode.
It's just unfortunate.
Oh,
Like, it's just a tough spot, though. You know, Sean put himself up there, and then he was trying to get out of the way. As a driver out here, that is so frustrating when somebody's trying to let people go after they just stayed out. Like, if you're going to let everybody go, just come to pit road. You don't have to put tires on if you don't have any. Like, just come down. Don't restart at 10th place and then try to be like, hey, I'm letting everybody go.
well, I don't necessarily know if he was trying to let everyone by. The way I saw it is, I think he just tried to go into the tunnel turn and ended up carrying a little too much speed on the older tires, just slid up by the wall. So,
Oh, Dusty's going to wreck after the caution here.
oh wow!
There you go.
How about that?
Toasted the
That's a
tires.
great. Yeah, but that's I think Dusty will take that because that should have been a much worse outcome for the 32.
Well, now we're getting into that green-white checker territory. They did not get one to go this time. So this will be a green-white checkered. I think if we'd have ran green, I'd like those tires because Jake got the 12th. But now it's going to be quite a tall. He's going to have to pick off at least 4 or 5, and catch another caution for another green-white checkered. But you know what this brings back into it, too, with these guys getting the green-white checkers? They get a couple of these, James, and we could be talking about fuel again for those guys at the front.
Oh, yeah, that's an excellent point.
Because what lap was the last lap that Cutlip, Eitzen, Tooker, Fody, those guys all, it's been quite a while since they've been to pit road, right? Like lap 27, 28?
Why I like this guy.
That they have. And Jonathan Cutlip, he played the fuel game last night and won it all. But and now he's playing it again. But luck might not be there for him if we get another caution or two. We still have 2 more attempts after this.
And another thing I'll tell you, sometimes it's bad to be the first guy behind the guys that run out of fuel. Because it happens and you don't have time to react and you'll hit one of them. So it will be very interesting. I would imagine, are going to get one to go right here. I would think.
Meanwhile, Gerald Campbell said some fighting words over the radio.
Well, that was Chad that was saying that, wasn't it?
Was it? I suppose.
I believe Gerald is playing with his toy.
Was it one of his
That was,
other soundboard?
Chad and the voice of Gerald. Gerald and the voice.
Okay, I owe Gerald an apology then. So Chad is the one with the fighting words.
Well, we did get one to go. There are 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. I think if we get into the second one and the third one, these guys are going to be pretty well tight on fuel. I kind of want to see some guys running out of gas. I think that would be fun.
For maximum chaos.
Yeah, when I'm not out here on the racetrack, I want all the chaos. I wanted to see it all. When I'm on the racetrack, I don't want any of that chaos. Don't need it.
Hey, I want to see chaos even I'm on the racetrack because most of the time that's the only way I can win is with mass chaos.
Guys, we should point out that Trey Eidson is up 33.
Good gracious.
But in order to do that, he's also on lap, 42 of this fuel run, and they said they could only go about 35, so now we did get some cautions.
The exact same strategy as Jonathan Cutlip, who is up 1 spot on it.
I tell you, if these guys start running out of gas, it'll be great. I want to see it. I want to see some guys running out. Jacob Adams back there in 12th, the first car on tires. That's who I'm watching. I believe the 26 right behind him is the next car on tires. I kind of like restarting on the top with the leader on the top. So we'll see how this works out. Pace car is going to pull off. Green is out. Great start there for Cutlip. Great start on the outside lane altogether. Oh, and here we go. Big moves back here in the field.
Whee!
Oh,
Huge
dear.
moves back in the field. They're 6 or 7 wide, getting down into 1. I believe they are wrecking in the back.
Oh, yep. Couple cars in the back. Jeff Green. It's like Sean Judson.
Let's see what happens here. Ooh, Connor just...
Ooh.
Well, Connor was going to go all the way to West Virginia, I think, before he turned into turn 1. Just misses the corner, gets into Jeff, who gets into Dusty. And then Jeff and Dusty. Well, they wreck.
Oh,
Oh, Sean just and Jane Racimus nowhere to go. Boy. Yeah,
Well-
you just can't anticipate that if you're Judson. He almost made it through.
Well, I'll tell you what. You got to slow down coming into the scene of an accident.
Yeah, that probably would help a lot.
So we'll see what happens here with these guys on fuel, what they've got to do, what they've got going on. I mean, Jacob Adams had a great restart right there. Gained a full row. The inside line did not go very good on that last restart. Gavin Hibbs going to get another lucky dog. Well, let's put him back on the lead lap. This one is. So he's gotten 4 of them, and he's back to the lead lap right here for maybe the last restart, possibly.
And at
With the way this
rate
race is went, I doubt it. I think we're going to get that 3rd green white checker, but hey, who knows? We'll see.
the rate we're going, I think he might win the race.
It's going to be exciting, though. You know, we've got the fuel strategy. We got all kinds of stuff going on out here. Different tires. I would like to see us run green here to the end. At some point, I don't want to see it end with 2 cautions back to back. I think it's pretty incredible that these guys are trying to make it on fuel from lap 26, 27, 28, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we're working our second green white checkered.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking getting up towards they're going to have to run 50 laps on fuel to get to the end of this thing. How are our picks doing? Who did you guys have? You're in 5th?
Mine's in 21st.
Mine is, mine's been the talk of the town tonight. Mine's all beat up. He's still running 11th, though. We're still 11th. I know what I don't want if I'm out here on this fuel. I don't want to get to turn 3 if I'm cutlet and then get the caution, because then it's a full lap at speed. Then you slow down. You've used all that fuel to re-rack and do it again. Because I do understand that these guys are back to being pretty tight out here. All those cautions they got earlier helped them, but now these cautions are extending the race. So these aren't freebies.
Nope.
And if one stumbles taking off, there's going to be a wreck.
Yeah. Especially if it's our race leader.
Because this isn't like the Cup car, where the Cup car, it'll run to 0 and then it'll run out. These Xfinity cars, it just depends. Like, I've seen them start sputtering when they get down to like half a lap left. The sweet spot seems to be you get down to like 0.3 left. That's when it starts sputtering, but I'm not sure how it'll handle taking off with the shifts and stuff. You know, maybe you got, 0.7 left, and on a shift it sputters. It's one of those things that we'll have to watch for. The leader once again picks the top, which is going to help the first car on tires, which is up to 10th. Pace car pulls off. Green flag is out. Really good launch for the top once again.
And already Matthew Weeks jumping out. Oh.
We head down to turn number 1.
Oh, we got
Wrecking in the
cars
back.
in the wall. We're still green, though. Whoa.
They head down the tunnel turn. You see Jacob Adams splitting the gap back there trying to move forward.
Oh, Jesse Racimus in the wall.
They're going to get to turn 3. Will they get to the white? Cutliff's hoping they get to the white. They come off of turn 3. I think they're going to get the white flag. White flag is in the air. The question has become, does Cutliff have enough fuel? Did he save enough to make this marathon run heading down for turn number 1 for the last time? Oh, the 20 misses turn 1 just a little bit. They head down here towards the tunnel turn. Everybody still seems to be under power who is trying to make the fuel run here. They get down here to the tunnel turn.
Oh, big
Tucker's
sideways
loose.
for Tucker. What a save.
And Weeks really got
Forward.
jammed up there.
Seth
They
Wells
come
turned
through
it
turn
against our
3.
wall.
Jacob Adams going to get there.
They come out of turn 3. It's going to be Jonathan Cutliff over Tyler Fody. David Tucker. Adams gets all the way to 4th on tires. Matthew Weeks is going to come across 4th. Trey Eitzen, Gavin Higgins, Thomas Coonan, Wilkinson in 9th. Josh Adams going to come back to finish 10th. Chad Frankenfield falls all the way to 19th. We did have a big wreck there coming off of turn 3 towards the start-finish line. Not sure where that started, where that wreck started. It looks like that wreck was a for fun wreck.
Yep. I'm not showing it. Children
So
being
what
killed.
we will do, as you see Cutlet out here, Cutlet Fody Tucker. All the strategy, all the chaos, and our top 3, kind of predictable.
Yeah,
But we are going to take a break, and we will come back for interviews with our top 3 finishers on the other side of the break.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge of your seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pick. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
And welcome back to Pocono, where Jonathan Cutlip just took the checker flag here. I am standing down here with P3, David Tooker. David, you guys pitted on that 28, made it last to the end. How close was fuel there at the end, and how did you manage to miss all that chaos?
Of course, it was just kind of like, those cautions definitely bailed us out. We were 5 laps short when we pitted on that lap 28. So I knew it was going to be just if you either picked your strategy was to stay out and save fuel, or hopefully take tires and come through the field. And it's just one of those things where mixed strategies kind of hinders the field and how they race. And this is definitely not the easiest track to race. So I took my chances on just trying to save fuel, and definitely, like I said, all those cautions definitely bailed us out, and got to about, I'd say, 4 or 5 laps good on fuel, and then was just kind of riding there in second with those last few laps to go. And then it just got to a point where, John's giving me the call on the restarts, but since we are teammates, he's giving me the call, but it just got to the point where, he's trying to win the race. It's me more, and I got shuffled back a little bit, especially beyond that outside lane. Just kept hitting the bump through 2, and it shoved you up 2 or 3 lanes. But we were able to get back on the podium, dropped to 4th there for a second, but got a good enough start to get back to 3rd. But overall, I didn't really expect to be finishing here. It was kind of felt like I was a top 7, maybe top 5 car, but definitely not a top 3. So knowing where we finished tonight and how the race went, I'm definitely on the better end of it, and very happy with how this race ended.
So the green-white checkers there at the end didn't kind of offset some of the cautions that helped you save fuel?
No, we were pretty much good. Once we got those 10 laps in, or whatever it was, I was about 5 to go, and the fuel wasn't really dropping off much faster than it was in the previous runs. So that's what I was kind of expecting, is just the fuel just to kind of counterbalance itself eventually once it ran green, but it actually kept the fuel mileage in it, and I just stayed 5 to the good pretty much all the way through. Even on those green-white checkers at that point, it was just trying to get my restarts right. At that point, I didn't have to worry about fuel anymore. So once we got, I believe, I was second on a few starts, and I just couldn't get through 2 or 1 with that huge bump. And in 1, it was just a killer for the outside lane, and probably could have had a shot at the win had I gotten a better start at the restart before, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, all right, David, before we let you jump out of here and prepare for the race, I guess, on Wednesday? Or are you racing? Do you race Gen 4? Are you racing tomorrow?
I will not be racing Gen 4 tomorrow, but I'll definitely be here on Wednesday.
Well, before we let you get prepared for Wednesday and get ready for that race there, who helps get you to the racetrack week in, week out here?
All the Pro Edge guys. We've got a lot of new faces over in the team with Jesse and some close affiliates, and Wadsworth and Blake Reynolds and Paul Mikolajic, and obviously all our Pro Edge originals, Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks, myself included. These guys are getting faster and faster every single week, especially with working with a guy like Blake. Having him in our Discord is definitely a help, and just trying to level up our game and our skill level to match his has been fun, and getting to work with those guys has been really cool, and getting to meet a bunch of new people with the connections we're making has been pretty awesome. So huge shout out to everybody involved with Pro Edge and all of our affiliates, all of our sponsors, Mark Rebilas Photography, Worldwide Technology Raceway, Blue Egg Marketing, 4D Racewear. Last but not least, JD Designs, John Cutlip. Shout out to John for winning the race. I mean, he played a great strategy just like I did, and it was just lucky he was one spot further than I was for most of it. So huge shout out to John. Thank you for all the work he does behind the scenes to make these cars look as good as they do, and couldn't be happier to represent him in his business. And also Chad for what he does up in putting this lead together every single year, giving us a great place to race. And I know I couldn't do it, so thank you for what he does, but also you guys up in the booth. Love watching all of our races back, especially these ones, and can't wait to watch this one back. I think this will be a very fun one to watch.
Well, all right, David, congrats on the win. Look forward to trying to watch you tame Darlington there on Wednesday night and win that throwback race. So hopefully you can go get that done and then come back over here and talk to us again next week.
I hope so too. Thank you, boys.
All right, James, I think you've got the guy that I talked to mid-race over there.
Yes, sir. Tyler, James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was first of all, and I feel like I've been asking this question a lot in the last couple of days. How did you stretch the fuel?
Yeah, I actually had about 4 laps or so, to be honest. Just so many yellows and saving. I think it did help that literally from like lap 30, when that first kind of yellow that kicked us all off for these restarts happened, I was saving. Had I not, and maybe realized a couple yellows later, it would have got pretty close there. But I was going to be good for one more for that last green white checkered if we needed it. But I only would have had maybe a lap or so at that point. But yeah.
And yeah, so take us through the closing laps there. Did you have any sort of strategy in play? Did you have anything that you could have done to try to get by Cutlip? I know he was getting a fantastic jump on the restarts there in the closing laps.
Yeah, no, I felt pretty good honestly to get to him. It was the first time we really had gone all out the whole race, and yeah, just that opening start, I just couldn't quite get away from Tooker in time, and he was able just to kind of put a nose to me going into 2, and I had to run up the track there, and that lost. That was basically the difference, 2 or 3 car lengths difference there. That I was having to go and try and make back up. Even into turn 3, we ran a little wide, but yeah. So basically, I had to try and make all that ground up in one lap, and we got pretty close, about a car length or so. So if that had not happened and we got a better opening restart, I think it would have been a pretty interesting finish. But nonetheless, pretty happy to get out of here second.
Yeah, the first half of the race was honestly pretty clean. Was that what you were expecting, or were you expecting a few more cautions there at the start, like we saw towards the end of the race?
No, honestly, with the setup kind of being as tight as it was, I was planning on it being pretty green, and it was working for that first 25 laps or so. It was falling kind of into what I was expecting, and yeah, then we got that yellow, and at that point, you just kind of have to realize what's going to happen next, and just staying out there, and the yellows that we were kind of expecting there came after, and yeah, just kind of had to pace around and try and get it on that last restart.
Alrighty, well, that was still a fantastic performance from you tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shoutouts you'd like to give?
Yeah, just shout out to Scott for hanging with me tonight and running with me. He was having a good race up until he lost it there at the first third or so, whenever it was. But yeah, fun running with him. Shout out to Cutlip for winning the race and also being my sponsor, ironically, and painting our cars. And yeah, shout out to you guys for sitting here and doing your broadcasting.
Okay, well, we appreciate you, Tyler, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Well, I am standing down here with race winner Jonathan Cutlip. John, take us through your night. the strategy, and when did you realize that you were the guy to beat tonight?
Yeah, our race was pretty interesting. I'm not sure if we were exactly the ones to beat tonight. I was kind of just blowing the right front up. Car's a little tight, and generally that doesn't really cater to me, so I was struggling with that a little bit tonight. But yeah, it was probably about lap 30 when half the field decided to pit, and I was feeling like the race was going to get a little bit more physical going forward from that point. So I was feeling pretty good about saving enough tires and fuel just to get to the end, and luckily we came out on the right side of things.
Yeah, and talk to us about that decision. Was that a tough decision to make? Were you thinking we're going to all pit later? Did you know at that time that, hey, we're not pitting the rest of the race, this is it?
Yeah, it was very situational, because obviously if the race goes green, you're kind of out to lunch. It was going to be hard to save as much fuel as we would have needed to and still finished in the top 3. But I was considering it a very low risk decision, because had we gone green for a while and we lost the lead and a caution comes out, then we're all back in the same slate, or even the leaders staying out, so it would have benefited us as far as tires. And again, worst case scenario is just pretty much that, but our best case scenario is just keeping track position the entire time, which we did. And yeah, it was a very moderate risk move, but luckily it paid out.
Well, and talk to us about how this car drove. We saw, I believe you ran second a lot early in the run, and then I'm not sure if he's a teammate or not, but we saw the dominant car have a parts failure, and then you kind of assumed the lead, and you led the rest of the race. So is that the reason you stayed out when you saw him pit, and you were like, well, I'm going to do something different because I don't think I could pass him, or was it staying out the whole time?
It was just staying out the entire time. Like I said, I felt like pitting that early was going to be a little bit of a scary situation, especially because midfield traffic, I wasn't sure how physical it was going to get. So the chances of getting collected in a crash were getting pretty, far up there. But yeah, it's very, obviously if it works, you look brilliant. But if it doesn't, then people are asking you why'd you make that decision. But yeah, we're just lucky to come out on the right side of it.
And then you got the cautions you needed. You saved the fuel, and then we had those green-white checkers where you had all very close there at the end. I know Tyler Fody said he was about a lap good to the good.
I was about four laps to the good. Ever since I stayed out, I was just shutting the car off and trying to save fuel. There at the end, my biggest worry was just tires getting up to us. There's some people that pitted on the lap 30 stop that I was keeping an eye on, just as far as trying to, put as many cars between myself and them, just trying to preserve as much of a lead as I could, just to give myself a chance at the end if it had ran green, or they made their way up towards the top 5 on a restart. So there were a lot of things going on that I was having to keep my eye on. I'm not sure I was the fastest driver tonight. That was one of those things where situational awareness can really pay off for you, and luckily it pulled out a win tonight.
Yeah, and hearing you say that should say a lot to the people who are listening and trying to get better, or trying to, thinking about getting into sim racing and whatnot. As the leader, you would think you were having an easy time of it, not worried about anything else, but you're a smart guy. You know that you're keeping track of who's on what tires, where they're going to get to, what lane to restart in to kind of work against those tires. That's all things that you have to think about as a leader, and that's why you're one of the guys to beat no matter what car it is, just in Elite in general. But real quick here. Oh, go ahead.
It definitely gets very complicated. You're having to think about stuff like that on top of driving the race car as fast as you can. So I love racing. I've been doing this since I was about 4 years old, and I still love it to this day. So
Well, real quick before we let you jump out of here, celebrate this win, prepare to go and try to win at Darlington here in a couple days. Who helps get you to the racetrack and get it done for you?
Shout out to you guys over here in Elite, Dave, Chris, James, and William over there. It was a little bit of a rough race tonight. Hopefully we gave you guys some talking points and some good racing between. Shout out to Race EPI, Channel 199 Racecraft. My teammates Blake Paul, Justin Wadsworth, and Gavin Hibbs. They had a bit of a rough night tonight, but they're all super fast, and they're obviously fast. But yeah, it's fun racing with them this season. Shout out to Loop Internet. Cars almost as fast as their internet, but yeah, it was a good night tonight. Shout out to my mom; she's super supportive. Hopefully she enjoyed watching tonight and watching you guys. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it.
Well, all right, John, congrats on the win. We can't wait to see you again next week.
Yep, see you Wednesday.
Well, James, Dave, any final thoughts from you guys before we wrap up this Pocono race tonight?
Yeah, we definitely saw both sides of Pocono. We saw the long run green flag focus on your tires Pocono, and then we saw the oh Lord, everybody's crashing Pocono, but it was still a lot of fun to call, a lot of fun to watch, and I'm sure everyone watched it at home also enjoyed everything as well, and all the twists and turns from the strategies and not knowing who's going to be able to pull off what.
All right, what about you, Dave? Any final thoughts from you before we wrap this thing up tonight?
No, I'm just ready to leave Pocono and ready to go get some rest before a full-length Southern 500, so I need to go get out of here.
Well, I think you heard it from these guys, all those yellows. I think we're going to get out of here pretty quick tonight. Shout out to all the people here at Elite Racing Network, all our great sponsors. We didn't mention Mark tonight. He was not out here. He must be out somewhere taking pictures. Give him a follow on Twitter. I know he's been out here doing some storm chasing here this last week. Going to continue to do some. It is getting into that tornado season part 2, so Mark's going to be pretty busy here coming up in the fall. So that's going to do it for us tonight. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow night for the Gen 4 race, Darlington on Wednesday, and we'll be back with you next week. So long here from the Elite Racing Network.